Welcome to the Henry Ford Village Rightsizing webinar. I am Denise Sutton, Senior Move-In Coordinator. I have spent over 6 years coordinating the moves and designing the apartments for well over 500 residents. The information given in today's webinar was compiled by my fellow move-in coordinator, April McGee-Flournoy, and me. April?
Hello, I'm April McGee-Flournoy, the other move-in coordinator here at Henry Ford Village. I have had the pleasure of assisting over 150 residents in their transition to the village within the last 2 years. As move-in coordinators, we help our upcoming residents envision their new life and home at Henry Ford Village. We create floor plans to determine where the stuff will go and assist with the interior design of the apartment. We also provide resources to new residents who are overwhelmed with stuff that has accumulated over many years. We understand how stressful it is to right-size in preparation for a new and more enjoyable life. There is a reason this webinar interests you. Are you looking for encouragement and tips to help make your life better, safer, healthier, and happier? You've made the decision to right-size because you are exploring new ways to grow physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. You are ready to make challenging decisions to get rid of burdensome accumulated possessions, and you are ready to thank these items for their pleasure and service, and then let them go for someone else's use. Your home no longer appeals to you, and you do not want to maintain a home with multiple rooms, a yard, and basement. We created this webinar because we want your home to spark joy. We hope the content will help you create and envision a beautiful and peaceful home and a new way of living. We want to help you identify your inner self and overcome the hurdle of right-sizing so that you can begin to peel away the layers of your personality and embrace yourself. Before we discuss the right-sizing and decluttering process, let's review a bit of research we've discovered. We have found that a silver tsunami is upon us. A silver tsunami is a metaphor used to describe the expected increase in the senior population. Today, 15% of Americans are 65 or older. That number is expected to balloon to over 20% by year 2050. Silver represents the baby boomers born between 1946 and 1964. A tsunami are the baby boomers seeking to downsize in massive amounts in the coming years so that they can relocate to apartment homes, senior living communities, and smaller dwellings. As the nation ages, experts contemplate that the increase in the aging population will impact senior living, the longevity economy, healthcare, and the workplace. Baby boomers have already started revolutionizing senior living, and their expectations will continue to change what it means to age. The demand for senior living will increase, and the style and manner in which seniors live will change. The future of senior living is not institutional. It is vibrant and active, encouraging, and empowering. As the senior population increases, and the baby boomers age, the volume of unwanted keepsakes and heirlooms will grow. As older adults move to smaller dwellings, they part with household possessions their heirs do not want. Today's young adults and millennials tend to acquire household goods that are temporary or disposable. There is a shift in the material culture. Millennials are less inclined to want their parents' possessions because they have no place to put them. Can you relate to this? Have you tried to give your possessions to loved ones and found that they didn't have the space or prefer to live with less? I also found during research that as a result of the longevity economy, a new profession called Senior Move Manager arose to help seniors sort through mountains of possessions. Nonprofits and charitable organizations are overwhelmed by the growing inventory of household items delivered to their doorstep. According to Marie Kondo, the Japanese tidying expert, St. Vincent de Paul reported a 38% increase in donations. More people are getting rid of clothes, books, and household items that don't spark joy. In recent years, Goodwill diverted 60 million pounds of stuff from entering our waste stream. Did you know that our decluttering of stuff tremendously impacts our environment? You are probably asking, yourself, what is the difference between right-sizing and decluttering? The definitions are similar. Right-sizing is to convert something to an optimal size. For example, relocating from a larger home to a smaller one, or even the process of maximizing a space for a specific use. Why should you right-size? Your perspective about life has shifted, and you want to focus on what you need rather than what you have accumulated that no longer serves your new life. You are preparing to live more with less, preparing to live more abundantly and fulfilled. You have decided to focus on experiences instead of acquiring more stuff to suffocate yourself with. You no longer want to hold on to possessions that you have accumulated. If you are ready for a change, this Marie Kondo quote is for you. The space in which we live should be for the person we are becoming now, not for the person we were in the past. Decluttering is to organize by removing clutter or items no longer in use. So why should you declutter? To remove unnecessary items from an untidy or overcrowded place so that you can enjoy a beautiful and peaceful space. During the right-sizing process, you might discover that you have far more stuff than you realize. Your stuff, your spouse's stuff, your kids' stuff, overwhelming stuff. Are you suffering from suffocation? Suffocation is the feeling of being oppressed by one's ungovernable heap of belongings. And to suffocate means to overwhelm yourself with stuff. It is a new word I found out about and I really like it. Most of us suffer from suffocation from time to time. Suffocation is similar to suffocation, except the stuff is overwhelming you and does not allow you to feel joy and peace in your home. Ask yourself during the process, does this spark joy? This is a question derived by Marie Kondo, who wrote the book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, the Japanese art of decluttering and organizing. Also ask yourself, does your home look like a double-sized locker? Does the stuff fit into the lifestyle that you want? And is your home and your heart a place of peace, inspiration, beauty, growth, and happiness? If not, now is the time to begin the rewarding process of decluttering and organizing.
Frequently, incoming residents come to us in a bundle of anxiety over downsizing in order to move in. Some say they are hoarders. I always take that with a grain of salt because hoarding has become a mainstream buzzword thanks to a certain TV show. In fact, the label of hoarder is nothing to take lightly. Hoarding disorder occurs in an estimated 2 to 6% of the population. It's more common in males than in females and is more common among older adults. People in the 55 to 94 year age range are 3 times more likely to be hoarders than those who are in the 34 to 44 year range. The consequences of hoarding can be health and safety related, fire hazards, tripping hazards, and health code violations. Almost without exception, hoarding causes family conflicts, isolation, and loneliness. Frequently, older people with this disorder are unwilling to let anyone into their homes and thereby sacrifice receiving help with daily tasks such as cooking and bathing as they age. Hoarding is not the same as collecting. Collectors look for specific items such as model cars or stamps and may organize or display them. People with hoarding disorder often save random items and store them haphazardly. In most cases, they save items which they feel they may need in the future. They think they're valuable or they have sentimental value. Some may also feel safer surrounded by the things they save. Even before we had heard of the coronavirus, I felt that a common category of items purchased in excess were paper products. Today, hoarding toilet paper is even more common. I use this example because whether or not you have hoarding tendencies, most of us have experienced this. How many of you shop at club stores? You know, where you can buy the 24-count package of toilet paper or the 16-count package of paper towels. I buy these thinking I'll never run out. I store them in 2 or 3 places around my house. They couldn't all fit in only one spot. I shift them around as needed as they slowly diminish. And then one day, I go to replenish the spot closest to the bathroom, and I'm shocked that my backup supply is all gone. I actually become offended, indignant. How could my seemingly lifetime supply of toilet paper actually be all gone? And then the finger pointing begins. Have our kids been taking my stash to their houses? And so the cycle begins again, but this time with a higher resolve. Maybe I'll buy 2 mega roll packages, maybe 3. I'll never run out again. In the case of hoarding, you will find that there is no number of anything that will quell the fear of running out. Too much may still not be enough. The anxiety caused by the feeling that you are running out of something, you name that particular thing, toilet paper, frozen dinners, or eggs, could eventually turn into a new sort of anxiety. How will I eat all of this food before it goes bad? Because of the pandemic, many of us are overbuying when we shop so that we can avoid social contact as much as possible. Remember to shop responsibly. Keep in mind which foods are perishable versus those which will last for 2 weeks or more. Consider spending 15 minutes on your refrigerator today. Check for expiration dates on your bottles and boxes. When you've cleaned up 1 shelf or maybe 2, take a moment to enjoy the airspace you've created. Practice the less is more philosophy. Organize things so that they are clearly in view. Vow to either use something up, like the quarter bottle of salad dressing, or toss it. Station things which are close to expiration toward the front. This is the refrigerator of a Marie Kondo client. Imagine how refreshing it will be to open your refrigerator door to this spectacle. Healthy snacking is within easy reach, and enticing too. If your first 15 minutes lightens your load, lightens your step, then make a date with yourself to spend 15 minutes each day opening one door after another. In my own case, a flooded basement started my downward spiral into clutterland. For me, a flooded basement, and this was the second flood in 5 years, resulted in anger, a sense of hopelessness and powerlessness. I gave up hope about ever having a tidy home again. Each of us has had an obstacle which put us into this predicament. Think about what yours was. Was it an illness, a fall, the loss of a loved one? Several months of complacency after my basement flooded had led to chaos in my own system. How do you like this mess? After spending time on preparing for this seminar, in an effort to practice what I preach, I went home and spent 1 hour and 15 minutes on my own closet. I had moved my off-season clothing to a variety of closets to save them from the dreaded flood. Ultimately, I had stuff everywhere. They were crowded, smashed together. They couldn't breathe. Imagine what a pleasure it was to get up the next morning to a semblance of organization. It was time-saving, too. Easy to spot something I hadn't seen for a while. Getting dressed for the day was a snap. On the following Saturday, I dragged this heavy bag to the Salvation Army near me. Someone will enjoy those items, I hope. A few others were worn enough to simply add to my household waste bag. I said, "Thanks for your service," and took them to the curb. Please don't confuse meticulous organization with keeping needless stuff. Please don't use clear plastic bins just to reveal what you have stored inside. Use that revelation to help you consider who else might be able to use and enjoy your donations, bin and all. Please don't take the tips we've given you for organizing to obsessive extremes. I know that the thrill of seeing a rainbow of colored t-shirts stacked on edge in the drawer is tempting. Just as hoarding and overbuying is an obsessive trait, organizing can also be. Please don't overlook the real message we're giving today. Minimize, simplify, live easier and clearer. Worship free space instead of coveting inanimate objects. The anxiety caused by the feeling that you're running out of something, you name that particular thing, toilet paper, frozen dinners, or in the case of my fiance, hammers, pliers, may never be quieted, especially if you're prone to anxiety, depression, or an obsession with shopping. Perhaps you need a wrench. This is an example of both hoarding and an obsession with organization. Anxiety drives us to excess. A man just can't have enough tools, right? What can we do about this? My advice is this: find a comfortable minimum and maximum number of things, paper products, garments, shoes, etc., and learn to embrace and enjoy the space or the breathing room that your minimizing provides. Look for a click point. Dare to intentionally use up something that is overcrowding your peaceful space. When you run out of each particular thing, replenish with a plan. Each week, I will buy 1 roll of paper towels and see if that gives me the number of sheets I really need. Make a running shopping list. Track your purchase habits. When you use the last bit of anything, add it to your shopping list. You can reduce your anxiety by setting a plan, practicing a routine. Once you have found your click point, you'll never overbuy again. Most of us create our homes in the same way that we portray ourselves to the world. There's some research that suggests that people with messy desks, for example, might be more creative. Still, more research has shown that tidy homes are often a predictor of good health. A clean home requires a more active occupant and thereby better physical condition. Find a decluttering partner. Perhaps he or she is sitting next to you today. If you are comfortable with that person, suggest you help each other to declutter. Maybe you have someone in mind who could help you get started next month. Once the sheltering restrictions have receded, plan to spend regular afternoons in each of your homes, sorting and packing. I have personally found that having someone to commiserate with while doing something I have dreaded doing makes it much easier. And having the opinion of someone you respect can help with decision making. For example, do I look good in this color? Do you think I should donate this vase? Set a goal. Spend that 15 minutes each day for a week, or spend an hour on Tuesdays and Thursdays with a partner. Plan a reward for your accomplishments. Take a walk in a park. Select a favorite flavor of ice cream. Celebrate at the end of each week. Once you press your reset button, you will never overbuy or overstock again. Once you've pared down on the clutter, found that airspace, and have realized how much better you feel, you'll want to keep it up. Reward yourself for healthy behavior. Gather with like-minded declutterers to boast about your accomplishments, or better yet, brainstorm tips for further decluttering. Embrace the new you. The very issue which may be weighing you down psychologically can be turned around into a sense of pride. And once you've tasted this success, you'll probably want more. When I said that many people tell me that they are hoarders, What I usually find is they simply have too much stuff. Years of storage solutions for themselves, not to mention their parents, grandparents, maybe their kids and their grandkids, can lead to an abundance regardless how organized. How many of us still have our mother's silver settings, our grandmother's bone china, our grandfather's tools, our high school diplomas, our children's high school diplomas? Think about the legacy of stuff you will leave behind for your children to someday sort through. Many of us remember doing this very thing for our own parents. Do you really want to subject your children to the same grim fate? To declutter your surroundings is to declutter your mind. Reserve the energy you have as your ability to move about diminishes for more life-enhancing collections, relationships with friends, family, or faith. Clutter can also affect your sleep. By nature, our brains like order. Constant visual distractors can drain our ability to focus. Julie Morgenstern, author of the book Shed Your Stuff, Change Your Life, talks about the real goal of decluttering or downsizing. She reminds us throughout her work that the biggest goal of shedding is to declutter your mind. Feel better about your space in order to feel better about yourself. She says, shedding provides freedom and energy to unveil your authentic and vibrant self. It puts a lightness in your step. Common complaints keeping people from shedding are feeling weighed down. This might just be too much for me to do alone, or the longer I sit and think about it, the longer I want to sit and think about it. There are fixes for this. Julie divides the process of shedding into 4 steps. Before, after, and along the way, Julie, however, reminds us that what we need to do is envision the goal. Contemplating the goal throughout the process will keep you from refilling the space. Well, that sounds easy, doesn't it? The experts have differing opinions on how to get started, but most of them agree that once you get started on an area, you should stay focused on that area until it's completed. Don't allow yourself to bounce around from room to room or from coat closet to pantry. That avoidance tactic will come back to haunt you. If you choose to start in your bedroom closet, consider first dividing what's there into categories: pants, tops, dresses, etc., and then thin out each category. Closets and kitchens are usually the toughest areas to tackle. If discarding your possessions causes severe anxiety for you, consider separating things without yet discarding them. Take an empty box, go through each of your kitchen drawers and remove things which you rarely use and any duplicates. Put them in the box, tape it up, and take it to your storage space, wherever that is. Use a marker to write today's date on it. If 6 months later, you haven't needed to open that box for anything that's within it, resolve to leave it taped up, take it to a donation center. Don't even look inside. Wait a minute, don't just heave. We have listed some donors who can reuse or recycle your stuff. I implore you to use them. You will need to be judicial about what is usable and what will go into the landfill. Most of them are not open during our current health crisis, but they will reopen eventually, and their needs will be even greater. Also, consider gifting special items to friends and family who you know will use them. Remember, the universe will not be happy with you if you simply shift your treasures to another household. The recipient must be willing, and you must not suggest that they might simply be storing your treasures there. Avoid having family members with you as you sort. They may be compelled to fill their trunks with your unwanted stuff due to guilt, greed, or unwillingness to invest in your resolve to declutter. I love this step, but it's asking a lot of us, isn't it? How many of you spent your lives trying to identify your inner self? It can be scary stuff, right? If I was that confident, I may not have accumulated so much clutter. I'm willing personally to accept that if we can overcome the hurdle of decluttering, then certainly we can also peel away the layers of our personalities to take a peek at who we want to be and to, man, this is scary, embrace ourselves. After all, the stuff we've allowed to protect us like the walls of our castles has now been crumbled and hauled away. We have sought a simpler, more intentional, healthy, and peaceful life. The last step is to drive yourself forward. Step out of the mold you've created in the past and listen for that click point again. Make a new friend. Try a new activity. Get some fresh air with your freshened new self. Explore a hobby you've always wanted to try. Express yourself. One step out of the comfort zone and you'll find yourself smiling bigger and laughing harder. Creating breathing room in your home will allow you space for a dance floor. Practice some new steps. Take your hobbies to a new level of detail. Invest the time you've always wanted to, because now you have had the weight of your baggage literally taken to the curb. Go out and do something new, or more of what isn't new, and look forward to coming back home to your new and sparkly environment. Speaking of driving, join our golf league, or maybe our bocce ball league. Fresh air, fresh experiences, crisp sunshine, Spartan living spaces. The goal is that you should love this new you enough to support it. The good feelings you will create in the spaciousness of your home will enhance your ability to move and to socialize and to proudly smile. Before long, we will all breathe a sigh of relief. We will be feeling the sun on our backs again and enjoy some freedom from sheltering. This may come back in small parts, but it will return. I invite you to take a look at what Henry Ford Village can do to enhance your life.
Let's review tips to tackle stuffication. Put a deadline on your calendar. This will help you achieve your goals. What will you reward yourself with when you achieve your goal? There is no time like the present, so do it now. Don't wait for the perfect time to toss, donate, or give away items. Tackle one room at a time. Start where the problem areas are or in small increments. Partner with a friend, family member, or a professional. There are also online groups, buddies, or accountability partners that will give you inspiration, motivation, and encouragement. Henry Ford Village will provide you with a list of vetted professionals that will help you with the right sizing process. Shedding is what the right sizing process is all about. You are preparing to live more with less so that you can live a more abundant and fulfilled life. As you begin to embark on your new journey, ask yourself, what is the worst thing that could happen if you got rid of the thing? What do these items mean to you? Are they really important? Can you live without them? How many of the item is enough? Did you use it within the last year? Is the storage space for the item worth it? Pile it. Create piles for discarding and recycling, donating, gifting, reselling, and keeping. While sorting through the items, ask yourself, does the thing spark joy? Do you love it? Do you use it? Group items like medications, cleaning products, clothing, and utensils. For your cabinets and drawers, toss old medications, cut down on duplicate items, clean out junk drawers. Donate or recycle electronics. For closets, say goodbye to mismatched socks, old workout or outdated clothing that is not in good style or quality. Honor memories. Gift items to heirs. Ask yourself if your heirs want your legacy of stuff. The Ohio rule. Use the Ohio method for sorting paperwork piles. Prepare yourself in advance. Remember, everything has a place. Get rid of unwanted mail and papers and other items immediately. The goal is to only handle things once. Grab your pile of junk mail and toss it. Go through and toss or keep things right then and there. Have fun and challenge yourself. Set aside time and see how many items you can get rid of. During the time, challenge someone else, a friend or family member. Get rid of 30 things in 30 days. Take the 12-12-12 challenge. Throw out 12 items, donate 12 items, put 12 items where they belong. Challenge yourself to a no-spend month. Reward yourself with a non-thing prize, something that is consumable, like a favorite dessert, something that brings you joy, or something that is free. Maintain your new home. Assess your stuff when the season changes. Stuff creeps up, so follow the one in and one out policy. When a new item is brought in, take an old item out. This method will help you maintain the number of items in your home. Avoid purchasing new items once you have decluttered. Remember to have no spend months. Here's an overview of things to remember. Declutter your surroundings to declutter your mind. Hoarding versus collecting. Ask yourself, is too much enough? Practice the less is more philosophy. Visualize a clutter-free life. Keep only what sparks joy. Don't let your possessions control you. Find a declutter buddy. Stay focused on one area at a time. S.H.E.D, Pilot, Ohio. These are the sources we use for research and our presentation that you might want to check out.
We understand the challenge of changing lifestyles, of right-sizing. Our job as move-in coordinators is to make it easier for you. We can refer you to a list of trusted professionals with whom you can partner for sorting, donating, packing, and moving. And while you are busily getting ready to move, we oversee the design and completion of your new apartment home here at Henry Ford Village.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to our presentation today. We hope you challenge yourself so that your life will be better, safer, healthier, and happier.